Hey everybody, this is Derek, aka No One. Thank you for clicking on my video. And I got a buy me a coffee request, and this is from Linda. And Linda wrote, "Child in Time, Deep Purple, Tommy's cover is a must." Tommy being Tommy Johansson. She says, "Important, do not read the description beforehand." So let me start up my headphones because I pulled it up. I did not read the description, and I'm curious to know why. Maybe there's a surprise, or maybe it would ruin like the first time reaction. I'm not quite sure. So hold on one second. Let me just move my stuff over a little tiny bit and the microphone. All right, cool. And then let me put the headphones on. Okay. So thank you, Linda. I know you can't see this, but that's my Buy Me a Coffee app. Thank you, Linda, for the Buy Me a Coffee. And here we go. Tommy Johansson, Child in Time from Deep Purple. Let me go ahead and click like because I already know I'm going to like it. So let's go.
Sweet child in time, you'll see the line is drawn between good and bad.
Oh, first of all, yeah, when the vocals came in, I love his vocals. They're so warm here. Um, yeah, very warm, nice. I wouldn't say lower register, but definitely like in his mid-range. But I'm also loving, obviously we know that he does all the instruments, but I love it when they show him playing all the instruments. So he's on the keyboards, they show him playing the drums, they show him playing guitar. Um, I don't think they showed him playing the bass yet, but yeah, so far, this is really, really good. And let me back it up a little bit so that we can, you know, what's the word? Keep the flow and the vibe going. Okay.
You'll see the line.
Oh, and his vibrato, of course.
Strong between good and bad. See the blind man shooting at the world. Bullets flying, oh, taking toll. If you've been bad, oh Lord, I bet you have, and you've not been hit, oh, by flying lead. You better close your eyes, oh, bow your head, wait for the ricochet.
Oh, didn't know there was going to be another round of that, but dang, when he's in those extreme highs, such power. Tommy has such power, and you can tell that, with the different ways that he's using his vocals. I mean, you definitely see his vocal training. You can definitely see that he was also classically trained. You could, there were some notes that were very round and operatic and full, and then but these high, just really high notes are like super impressive. Nice smooth transition. This must be the surprise, because I just did a reaction to Elaine, and I mean, that was a great, I guess what they would call dark symphonic metal mixed in with some thrash metal and death metal. But I loved that. So this is the guitarist. I don't know if they're about to show another guitarist, but yeah, that was a nice surprise. So when he said let's bring in the big guns, I thought he meant like he was about to like double shred, but no, he invited some big guns. So this is going to be fun. Well, that was like one big freaking metal jam. That's what that was. That was a jam out session. Now, what I'm going to do is go back to each individual guitarist. Oh, you can see this is like the most replayed section here. So, obviously, so I'm gonna chop up these European names. So just excuse me as being a stupid American. But also let me put the microphone more towards my mouth. Richard Ekberg, but I reacted to him and the other guitarists that are from this band, Elaine. Now, after him, I don't know who Kim Arvidsson is. I have heard of the band Shadowland, but I've never heard their music. I've heard of them. Svaggers, I don't know who that is, but every single one of these guitarists were absolutely fabulous. I mean, all of them. They're just fantastic. So I want to give like a shout out to each one of them. So here we have Kim Arvidsson. After Kim, we have Samuel Lundstrom, and he's from, I don't know if that's Veonity, but I've never heard of that band either. All right. And then, yes, Phoebe. I don't know if you guys can hear Phoebe, but okay, so we have Vigo Vane, and he's in Vanity Insanity. And I like the name of that band. Never heard of them. So I'm assuming that these are all Swedes. And I mean, I know that there's a big metal scene in Sweden. So now let's see. This Anders Skold. Now I've heard the name. Okay, so he's from Veonity as well, but I've never heard of that band. So I must have seen him somewhere. You know what this is all? Me going through like all these different guitarists. It just reminds me of like when somebody goes through Arion's, the day the world breaks down for the first time, and you're like, whoa, who are all these 11 singers? So that's kind of how I feel right now. I'm like, whoa, like who are all these guitarists? So Anders Skold from Veonity, and I'm hoping I'm not chopping these up. And here's Victor Johansson from Elaine. Elaine. Hey, Phoebe. How are you doing, honey? All right. Come here. Come on. Okay, so we have, after Victor, Chris Davidson. All right, so from Majestica and Wisdom. So, yeah, okay, there we go. See, I actually like knew one and both of the bands. So Chris Davidson, and did they show Petter like after here? But you know what? While I'm here, let's just hear that little bass again. And we have Petter. Oh, wait a minute. Because it said Majestica, but there was another band that it said Mad Hatter. Okay, so I didn't know he was in another band. And if I did read that somewhere, then I already forgot. So he's in Majestica, but I guess he was in another band called Mad Hatter. So very, very cool. And let me see. After Petter, they showed Galen Stapley from Twilight Force and Azure. Now, never heard of. I may have heard of Twilight Force, but I've never heard their music. And by the way, I noticed his little elf ears. Very Lord of the Rings. Now, this is Justice Salman, and he's from the band Induction. And I've never heard of Induction. And then, let me see, there's Eric Calderon, and he's from 331 E-Rock. Never heard of them. Never heard of him. Um, then we have Tim Kanoa Hansen. That's definitely Swedish. And then he's from the band Induction as well. I like the color of his guitar. That's pretty cool. And let me see, who did they show after him? Bradley Hall, and he's from Twilight Force as well. So I like how they have like the multiple guitarists from uh, a few of these different bands. And let me see. Wait, did they show this dude? What's his name? Or did they already show him? Okay, so Billy Jeffs, and he's from Memories of Old. And I think that pretty much covers all the guitars. But let's do this again. Let's just go and play it all through again, because I just want to enjoy each guitarist's. We'll just start it from like Tommy's guitar solo here, and then we'll ride through it all over again. And now that I went through each guitarist by name and by band, let's hear it play through again. Well, that was just as awesome, if not better, the second time around. So that was awesome. I loved it. Um, Linda, thank you for guiding me and not reading the description. So I think it's safe that I can look at it now. So basically, let me see what he wrote down here. Originally performed by DeepPurple from the album. Okay, glorious guest artists. So Ricard Ekberg, um, Kim Advidson, Samuel Lundstrom, Vigo Vane, Andrew Skoll, all of these guys, Chris David, Petter. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to like check out some of these bands because every guitarist was really, really great. They were fantastic. And they all had their own style, so it was great to hear like the different styles from each guitarist, um, I was noticing, some do more pinch harmonics than others. um, some like to do the bend strings, and it was just so enjoyable. Like I said, it was a jam session. That's what that was. And I loved every single second of it. So thank you, Linda, for the buy me a coffee request. I absolutely appreciate it, and the guidance that you gave me along with it. It was a great surprise. I absolutely loved it. And I hope everybody enjoys it as well. And I think at this point, because I'm going to record a couple more videos while I'm drinking my glass of wine. And by the way, cheers, everybody. Now I can say, have a good night.